Detective. Glad to see you up. The crime scene has been kept as untouched as possible, but we don't exactly have the same resources as the police do. From what I can see, there's some scuffs on top of the wall and a blood trail dripping down it. A few splatters further into the woods, but then it fades. Either he patched himself up or got creative in staunching any bullet wounds. These footsteps look familiar to you. Look like a drunk person? What do you mean? Like somebody who's intoxicated? I see what you mean. Liquid courage, you think? I beg your pardon? No, detective. I don't dabble in the drug trade. I'm offended that you think I'm that sort of criminal scum. Yeah, okay, fair point. No drugs. I don't want that level of mess on my doorstep. I run businesses across the city and I keep people that would see those businesses fail in line. No more, no less. Okay, I'm following your logic. You've seen plenty of addicts try and kill their dealers or whoever was sponsoring their dealers for revenge or more product. Fair. And you think this guy was on something more than not street legal from the gouges on the ground. So, a safe assumption is that this guy is more than likely acting on pure emotion and is either erratic or over-medicated, or is just a proxy for someone else. What do you think? I think you're right. We won't know until we get those lab results back. And that's gonna take at least a few weeks, even with my connections. But right now, I think the best thing we can do is lay low and see if this crazy bastard decides to become bold again. There's nothing more that we can do. Detective, you're still wounded. Enough! No. You're not going to look around for a little longer on your own. You're going back inside and getting some rest. Do you think I have the time to be worrying about you taking another shot? What if I hadn't been there the first time? That room is normally isolated. You could have... You might not have gotten shot if I hadn't forced you to be there in the first place. And a real class act still trying to control you when I almost got you killed in the first place. You want me to go inside and leave you alone so you can do your job? Fine, you're right. Detective, the lab results are here. You're gonna want to see them, I think. How have I been? What do you care? Sorry, I don't mean to be snappy, but I've been keeping busy and trying to give you your space these last few weeks while we waited for the results. I didn't know what to say to you after our little spat. And I didn't want you to be in anyone's theoretical scope while I sorted out my emotions. No, detective, don't apologize for snapping at me. I had already pushed you well beyond the acceptable for my own selfish purpose. I just didn't see the full weight of it until I saw you bleed. It's almost surreal to know someone like you can even bleed in the first place. Bleeding is so human. I know you're human, detective. Trust me. I know. But I thought the same thing the first time I saw my favorite boxer go down in the ring. It just seemed impossible for a force of nature like that to be injured, much less knocked out in one swing. Don't let me waxing philosophical stop you from reviewing the evidence. I can stand aside. Is everything okay, detective? What's that look on your face? No. I don't know. Who is that? Damon? Is that our perp? Excuse me? Oh, hold on, detective. You're telling me you know him because he's your ex? Okay. Right. Okay, I'm following. So, to be clear, you dated this guy a few years back before you joined the force. He got a little crazy and a whole lot of possessive and jealous, so you broke it off. And then you had to deal with him stalking you even after you surrounded yourself with cops. Okay. That explains some things, but there's something very wrong about this whole equation. Exactly. He's tied exclusively to you. What business would he have coming after someone like me? No one knows we're affiliated outside of your boss. I don't exactly make a habit out of making my feelings known either. Even those closest to me think my feelings are a lot more malicious than they truly are. Anyway, do you have a picture of this guy? You don't look like the sentimental type, but the one you used to show the other officers so they could keep an eye out. Sure, that works. Wait, hold on. I do know this guy. Yeah. He's a frequent visitor at one of the bars I have an investment in. Bartenders always complain he's coming in off his ass on one thing or another, asking about some lady. I remember him. And now that I do, I think I know why he's targeting me. I never knew the little shit's name. I knew you had an ex because of him, though. See, I ran into him one night not that long ago. There had been complaints about this weirdo, and I had figured, hey, I had a free night, why not set it creep straight? So I took him to my office and had a chat. And that chat turned into a fist fight when I realized what woman he was talking about, so detestably. Oh, nah. I beat him so bad he could hardly stand up. I probably went too far, admittedly, but hearing your name in his mouth, I lost it. I think he probably ended up swallowing some of his own teeth by the time I was done with him, to be honest. But I couldn't let go. So I might have told him that he wasn't to talk to my woman ever again. He went real quiet after that. Thought it was really hitting, but yes, I am more than aware that you aren't my woman. But I also did say that I wasn't exactly thinking the best at the time. Didn't realize I was that protective of you until that night, if I'm being honest. And you're telling me this guy's an ex-Marine. Right, so what does that mean? He's an actual threat when he stays sober? Okay, but ex-Marine or not, how does this guy have access to an elephant gun? Those caliber of rounds are well past illegal in this country. He must be getting them from an outside source? Oh, that does make sense. If somebody had some beef with me, and they'd benefit from taking me down, they're the ones who were supplying him with ammunition. I think I know who might have the balls to try to use this tragedy to get to me. Do you know how mafia families work, detective? From a top-down level. Right. At the top, you have the Don or the boss, and then the underboss or the second in command, and then a counselor, and so on. If I had to make an educated guess, I'd say we're dealing with my ex-counselor, aka the worst little brother a guy could have the misfortune to have by him in his mother's arms. Micah. Was a good kid. Was being the key word there. And then one day, I don't know. It's like he watched one too many gangster movies and thought, that was real life. Started emulating the dress and the behavior of those psychopaths. Justified himself killing multiple targets that could have been spared or put to better use. I cut him out when he tried to look me in the eye and claimed that his last kill was necessary. No, it was just some dumb kid that flipped him off in traffic. That's it. Dumb kid wasn't even in a car. He was just trying to skirt his bike around Micah's big truck and flipped him off when Micah honked at him. Before I could even blink, he had rolled down the window and blown the kid's head off, and the driver was peeling away faster than I could scream to stop. I told my brother he was dead to me when we got back. Dressed him down in front of the whole family until he was sobbing like a child himself. Cut off all of his funds and credit cards. I stripped him of every bit of power and wealth he had. And I told him to take a hike with nothing but the clothes on his back. That was years ago. I'd hoped that I'd beaten him down enough that he wouldn't be stupid enough to cross me again. That asshole. He always did know how to really make it hurt. Of course. Of course he'd go after you. He knows there aren't many others that would actually hurt me. Or anything else that I would feel pain to lose. I can easily see a scenario where the opportunistic, sick vulture would take advantage of your crazy ex. and try to literally kill two birds with one stone. He takes you out, he knows I'll be vulnerable. Probably has plans to swoop back in and take the family back by force while I'm grieving. No chance the place is bugged. I've had sweeps done daily since you got here, just in case. What do you recommend we do, Detective? Play along? Really? How? You think we should just play along then? As in, pretend like you've caught feelings for me, and then in return fake your death and crush Micah and your ex when they try to swoop in on the assumption that I'll be sobbing over your loss? I gotta be frank with you, Detective. It's a bold move, yes. But it's not how I do things. No. Listen to me, alright? I am a man of action, Detective. The kind of man that will always be in the front lines, never hiding behind his army or forcing them to do work that he wouldn't do personally. While pretending to be in the morning might lure Micah and Damien into acting more aggressively. I'd much rather them know that I am absolutely unbothered by their cowardly mind games. Give me 24 hours. That's more than enough to start cutting off whatever shitty little Hydra heads Micah has acquired in these last few years. Okay, fine. So Hydra heads grow back. Bad analogy. Unless... You remember the way to kill a Hydra is by striking the heart.